Oh, yeah.
So you just have to click
Continue. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Everybody
Okay.
got that?
Haven't got it yet. Where is it? Oh, there
What?
it
I got it. Yes.
is. Okay.
Crawl back.
Everybody all right? So I shall begin. Okay, so I'm on Spotlight. We are recording. I think I can edit it so they don't see or no, you won't see or hear this first bit. And now I'm going to mute you all. Hi, Judith. So I'm recording, but I was just explaining to everybody it'll only be an audio.
Yeah, no, I heard that.
Good, good. Okay. And we're lying down. So I'm muting everybody now. And bring yourself to lying if you haven't already. And taking a few moments here just to consider sensations of your body right here, right now. So just notice what's coming up for you as you lie back on the mat, right here, right now, right at this moment. Nothing to do, nowhere to go, just noticing. And noticing any adjustments that you want to make. So whether you want to wriggle about a bit, feel the sense of groundedness through the bony parts, weights of your heels, pelvis, upper back and shoulders, and the weight of your head. So feeling what you feel. So acknowledge what you're feeling, good or bad. Notice no judgment. And noticing some spaciousness developing. So as you rest and let the floor take your weight, begin to notice spaciousness. So spaciousness means a sort of freedom. You're holding less and there's more space. Can you notice spaciousness in your mouth? So just have a sense of roundedness in your mouth. Start to listen to the sound of a sighing breath. So you can sigh the breath out through an open mouth. And when you sigh the breath out, there's less to hold on to. You're letting go. So hearing the sound of the sighing breath, and you can make it a little bit more powerful. So with every single exhale, you're holding less, you're letting go of more. And can you make your sigh into a yawn so that there's a real sense of release, even more letting go as you yawn. It's amazing. As soon as you say the word yawn, it really starts to develop until you can do nothing but yawn. So conjuring up several yawns and noticing how it helps to release muscles around your neck and your jaw. So So the sigh relaxes muscles at the back of your throat. The yawn really relaxes your whole jaw. Just noticing it. Oh. So see if you can conjure up another yawn. And then can we just relax the breath for a moment? Let your lips just touch lightly, just noticing the touch of the breath at your nostrils, the sound of the breath at the back of your throat. Noticing if there are any big sighs or yawns left in the system. And then if we do some loud ha breaths, like the lion's breath, but only lying down. Ha! So really go for some powerful breaths. Ha! And this really relaxes a lot more of the upper body. Ha! Gets into your chest, your lungs. Ha! So some powerful ha breaths. So do as many of those as work for you. And then when you settle back to your more relaxed breathing, lips lightly closed, just noticing maybe more space. Is there more spaciousness going on in the body? Bring the hands to rest over your belly. So if you have your thumbs just lightly touching around the navel area and the index fingers touching just above the pubic bones, you've made a triangle of space with your hands over your belly. And slowly bend the knees, bring your feet flat on the floor. So you have this triangle of your hands just above your belly and the feet are flat on the floor. So you're becoming more aware of the belly breath, the rise of the belly beneath your hands, the fall of the belly beneath your hands as you breathe in and breathe out. And now imagine that you're laughing or blowing out candles, and you're going to begin to make little fast out breaths, so that when you imagine you're laughing or blowing out candles, it's a and beneath your hands you can feel the belly snapping back. And have a rest. Return to normal breathing, just that gentle rise and fall of the belly. And we'll do that again. And return to normal breathing. And just purse your lips very lightly and begin to sigh the breath out through your lips. So you can feel that this is now quite a long out breath. Powerful in breath through the nostrils. Blowing the breath out through pursed lips. And feeling how the abdominal area is really relaxing back as you breathe out. So you're going right to the end of this exhale. You don't have to think very much about the inhale, it comes in naturally. And you go right to the end of the exhale through pursed lips. Can you slide your hands from your belly just to below your ribs? So you've got your middle fingers meeting in the center, just below your ribs. So in the soft space, the midriff area, below your ribs and above your navel. So if you think about this soft waist area and the expansiveness as you breathe in, your fingers literally slide apart as you breathe in, and they slide back towards each other as you breathe out. So this soft area between that divides your pelvis and your lower body from the ribs and your upper body is very soft, very relaxed. You can feel the expansiveness as you breathe in, release as you breathe out. And just beginning to focus a little bit more on the feet and let your arms rest by your sides. Feel your footprints, adjusting your legs if you need to, so that you're feeling the ankles directly below your knees. And can you begin to press both feet firmly into the ground as you breathe out? Feel both knees going forwards. And then as you breathe in, relax so the knees come back towards you. Feet are still on the ground, arching in the waist. So you exhale, knees go forwards, lower back flattens. So you inhale and the knees relax towards you, waist arches. Can you keep that movement going and focus very much on the softness of the middle part of your body and how lower body and upper body are divided at this point? So your breath out, lower back flattens. Breath in, lower back arches. And the waist is responding. So really sensing the lightness of your pelvis when you exhale, and the heaviness of your pelvis when you inhale. So as the back flattens on the exhale, tailbone is rolling up, your pelvis is getting lighter and lighter. And then when you reverse that on the inhale, you can feel the heaviness of those sitting bones, the tailbone. So you've got a very subtle movement here, which you can exaggerate. And can you start to do that with alternate feet? So rest for a moment. And if you send one foot down, that knee forwards, you'll feel the pelvis on that side get lighter, and then relax as you breathe in, and then press down through the other foot, knee goes forwards, and the pelvis gets lighter on that side. So breathing in, and then as you breathe out, press down, engage one foot, knee goes forwards, relaxing, breathing in, and then the other foot. So you've got a very subtle rotation of your pelvis now. And you can start to feel this moving up through the whole side of your body as though you're walking on your back. So we do this pretty much at least once a session, and approach it with the sensations that are in your body today. So what's your body feeling? How's it feeling as you extend on one side and contract on the other side? So you might want to make this more vigorous. You might want to make it much softer. So noticing the subtleties. And notice how your belly falls back every time you exhale. And then settling back into that, just feet flat on the ground, resting. So that if you adjust your feet if you need to, make sure the ankles are still under the knees. So if you press both feet and continue to send your knees forwards until your legs pick up your pelvis. So slowly you're coming into that hanging bridge, keeping the effort out of the back body. Belly falls back as you breathe out. And the back side of your body, the whole back of your body is effortless. Any tightening and let it go. So you can hold for a moment and then you can reverse the movement back down to the ground. I'd like you to do this 3 or 4 or 5 times in your own time. So you're just experiencing the rolling up, the work of your legs in order to raise the pelvis. So the pelvis and the body don't know they're going to lift off the ground until the legs lift them. So keep the effort in the legs. Feel both kneecaps go straight forwards. When you're in the lift, so whenever you're there, have that sense of the softness of your waist. So how the lower body is releasing away and the groundedness of your upper body when you're in the lift. And then everything returning to groundedness as you lower. Can you think of yourself as a tadpole and feel as though from the waist down, from the navel down, you've got this floaty body that can undulate. Maybe the next time you're in the lift, experiment with feeling one foot going down, the knee going forwards, and then the other foot going down, the knee going forward. So you're undulating in the lift. So you have that sense of extension on one side of the body and then the other. So it's not a side sway, it's more of a knee forwards and sort of a lengthening on that side and then a contraction on the other side. And so don't hold it if it's feeling effortful, just do it as an experiment. And when you come down, just adjust and go up once more. So adjust and go up once more. So what's it like to really use the legs? And you can become quite fixated on one area. So just expand your awareness to the rest of the body, noticing your throat. What's going on in the throat and the jaw? So you're wanting to hold less tension, letting go of any tightening. When you finally return to the ground, just pause for a moment. So just noticing that really lovely feeling of being supported by the ground. You can slide the legs away. And if you raise your arms as far as they'll go overhead to the ground, so slide them out to the side, palms up at shoulder height, keep sliding them up and stop when you feel any restriction. So your arms are as high as they'll go, supported by the floor. And just extend all the way up and down the right side of your body. So extending and then left side of your body. So moving all the way up and down one side of the body, and then all the way up and down the other side of the body. So the side that you're extending, it's yawning, and then the other side is contracting. So if you feel as though your body is yawning, opening up on one side, contracting on the other side. This is all about your pelvis and that soft waist in the middle. So get in touch with the soft waist. And then just letting go and drawing both knees over the front of your body. Put your hands on your kneecaps. So with your hands on your kneecaps, just choosing what you feel you want to do for your body right now. So whether it's some rocking and rolling from side to side, maybe it's circling your knees out to the sides in big circles. So choosing what your body would like to do, rolling, rocking, circling. So it's so important that it's not what I suggest, but what you feel you want to do right now. Because you can come to your mat at any time and you'll know to listen to what your body wants. So if you want to do the same thing, or if you want to mix it up, just decide. And so another few moments before coming round into child's pose. So finding that child's pose that works for you, where you can let the heaviness of your pelvis, your lower body relax towards your heels, and the upper body, the forehead relaxing towards the ground. Noticing the soft waist. So that division between upper body and lower body. And when you uncurl, let your head come up last. So uncurl into the all fours. So coming up from there and up onto the hands and knees. Let's focus on the space between the soft waist. So normal rounding up as you inhale, and then the extension as you exhale. Eyes going where your spine takes them. And focus on that soft waist. So you've got the that tail just getting into your spine here. Really expanding into the back ribs as you breathe in, arching up to the ceiling between the shoulders, and releasing between the shoulders, breastbone, moving forwards as you breathe out. So from this rounding up and then extending, just come to neutral position. Look at your hands, just engaging the hands really firmly, and begin to bring right hip towards right shoulder, and then back to center as you breathe in, left hip to left shoulder as you breathe out. So it's all about that tadpole tail, it's just moving from side to side, or lizard. So your spine is making a C curve, the letter C, in one direction and then the other. So it can be quite slow, it can be quite rhythmical. You can pause in the middle for an in-breath, you can exhale to the side. And your head, your eyes are looking straight down between the thumbs. You're not turning your head. So if you think that your neck is connected, it's part of your spine, and it's not doing anything on its own, it's only moving subtly because you're actually taking the tail from side to side. When you come back to center, if you could stay in the all fours, think of your rib cage. Think of it as a barrel and begin to roll the barrel. So it's going right side up to the ceiling, left side down to the ground. So getting into this feeling of the ribs rolling. Do it in both directions. So just find that rolling movement of your ribs. That's it. Lovely. That's it. That's it. Really nice. Make sure you go in both directions equal number of times so you feel equaled. When you have finished that, child's pose, but this time big toes touching, knees wide. Keep your arms as far forwards as you can manage. So now you're much more aware of that soft middle, the space in the middle, the difference between your lower body, which is more like a frog than a tadpole right now, and the extension, openness of your armpits. So we breathe right up into our armpits. So the lungs, as you breathe in, they're actually expanding outwards towards the armpits. So really give yourself lots of space in the armpits. So deep breaths, expansive breaths as you breathe in, lots of space in the body. Can you bring your hands back towards you, come back to the all fours? So you've got your wrists under your armpits, knees under your hips. So we're going to come into what's, they call it poppy pose. If you put your elbow points where your wrists are, so that you can keep your bottom in the air directly above your knees. So make sure your bottom stays above your knees. And then slide your arms forwards, your forehead goes to the floor, and you've extended your arms as much as you can. And your forehead is resting on the ground. Breastbone falling towards the ground. So if you think about the space between your shoulder blades, it's completely unlike child's pose, which is more of a rounded back. This is an extended back. So you're dropping down between the shoulder blades towards the ground. Let your breastbone relax towards the ground. So I find that I tend to rest a little bit on my forearms, which is fine. So your bottom is directly above your knees. And you can support your forehead with your hands, still have quite open armpits. That's it. So it's strong between the shoulders and grounding. Keep the bottom going back, Liz. Don't let it come forwards. Yes. Lovely. Deep breaths. So I'm keeping you here a fair amount of time, but if you need to come out, then child's pose. Lovely. So every out breath is a little bit more release between the shoulder blades. It's the bit of the spine it's very difficult to get into. Deep breaths. And then another deep breath in to breathe out, easing yourself back into child's pose. So whichever version of child's pose works for you. And then from child's pose, just come up to sitting up on your heels. Can you, we're going to go into the squat from here. How are you with that, Avril? So that you're, yep. So you start off with your knees, your toes tucked under, use your fingers to come into this froggy-like squat. And we're going to really work, I'm interested in the feet. So your feet, one foot goes flat as it turns out to the side. The knee follows the toes of the foot that's turned out to the side. And then you go to the other side. So you're coming onto the ball of one foot and the sole of the other foot. And of course, your knees. So Avril, you could just sit and put your fingers between your toes. Sit and put your fingers between your toes and just circle your ankles, Avril. Anybody else who's got knee issues, do the same. Can you bring your hands onto your kneecaps and focusing on the balance? So it's strengthening in our ankles. If you can't do that, that's absolutely fine. Just maybe one hand and then the other hand. So just building up, really getting into the feet. Do it quite quickly, Avril. Don't spend too long on each foot because we're coming to kneeling again in a minute. And I think everybody else will have had enough of squatting. Okay. Those of you still happy to squat, as you turn to the right side, so the right foot is flat, can you put your left knee down, relax the top of the left foot and sit on the left heel? This is a lot of work for the ankles. So you've gone from the frog to facing the right side with your right knee. Left knee goes down, relax the foot and sit on the heel. And then coming back up, go to your other side. So that you're just working from side to side. So it's the sort of movement that we probably did without thinking at some stage in our lives. So sitting on the heel. Okay. And then if we all, I've forgotten completely what I'm doing now. We're all going to come to kneeling. So Avril, if you finished with your feet, come to your fours. Tuck your toes under. So keeping that sense of the division, waist is the division area, and you're taking your tailbone back. The upper body is the part that's grounding you. So once you've taken the tailbone back, can you just lift your hand? You won't take the hands off the floor, but lighten that load on the hands as though you're going to lift them. Notice how much your thigh muscles switch on, your torso stiffens. So relax and rest through your arms again. Just do that one more time. Just lighten your hands as though you're going to lift them and really notice. And then resting through the arm bones again. That's all your arms have to do for you. You just need to be able to rest through them as you lift your knees and use those thigh muscles to take you up into dog. And When you're in dog, come up on the ball of both feet. Feel the space between the ribs and the pelvis, your waist. And then you can pedal slowly. Depending on your legs and hamstrings, one knee can bend as the other heel goes down, but do it quite slowly. So inhale with both legs doing the same thing. Exhale as a knee bends and the other heel goes back. Inhale back to the center, exhale. And so you're almost replicating what we did lying down on our backs on the ground. So inhaling up on the ball of both feet, exhaling, one knee bends, the other heel straightens. And you're feeling this lightness in the waist. Bend your both knees, come back down to the ground, feeling the stretch under your toes. Pausing in child, so folding down into child. And then we're going to come back up into dog pose. And from dog pose, you're going to walk yourself into a hanging forward bend. So I don't want you to rush as you lift yourself into dog, right up on the ball of both feet. Relax your head, let it go. Feel that heaviness of the lower body. Walk your fingers towards your feet. And allow yourself to really hang. And sense the breath in your ribs. Breath in your ribs. Your back ribs are breathing. There's softness in your knees. And you have that sense of tadpole pelvis and legs. They're helping to ground you. Another deep breath in here. Now keeping that sense of the head and arms and upper body hanging, go down through the feet and begin to uncurl. So uncurling and standing up. Yeah, slowly, slowly. That's it. That's it. Slowly, slowly. Until you feel this sense of being upright. So it's quite strong sense of being upright. That's lovely. And you can just focus on, that's it. Focus on that sense once you're upright, still being aware of the division in your waist. So I'd like you to, we're going to bounce, but I want this to be quite light. I want you to feel springy. So it's not a thumping like this. It's much more springy. So you're letting both heels come up and go down. And you've got soft knees. You have to have soft knees. And of course, your arms are jigging about beside you. So just have that sense of springiness in the body. And as you keep this going, you'll feel, can you feel the heaviness of the lower body as you've got that sort of heavy letting go of your tail, if you like, and the spaciousness around your waist. Upper body is actually going up and down. So keeping that sense of the lower body getting heavier and heavier. And when you, we're going to slowly come to a stop with the knees bent so that you're almost in a squat, not quite, but nearly. Feel the lower body really heavy. And bringing your hands onto your waist. Starting to come into the squat even more. So I find that taking my arms forwards gives me more sense of the waist. But if you need the support, keep your hands there. So arms can go forwards as you come down into Utkatasana. If you're comfortable here, you can take the upper arms by your ears and feeling that heaviness. So dropping down from your waist through the pelvis. That's it. Feeling that length in the center of your body. And breathing in here. As you breathe out, let your arms slowly come down and your legs straighten. And you're back in mountain pose. So as you engage the ground through your feet and you sense the lift through your body, taking a few moments. So I did this the other day and I didn't do it very well. In a minute, you're going to go to a wardrobe or a wall. If you haven't got a wall, you can use a chair. Don't go yet. So only because I want to show you. So it's legs a little bit wider, hands on the wall, and you're going to, I'm too far away. I'm going to walk my hands up the wall so that my chest and my face go to the wall and the bottom sticks out. So it's very much about the upper body. Okay, so the other day it was a little bit too flat. So not too far from the wall, legs wider than your hips, chest, if you can get the chest towards the wall and your nose, then do that. So you've got the very open armpits and it's a bit like that poppy pose without the bent knees. Lovely. So that's it. So that's it. So overall, you want your chest and your nose to be on the wall, your bottom sticking out. Stick your bottom out a bit more, Liz. What are you doing, Brigitte? Have you got your hands on anything? No. Try the door. That's it. That's it, Rosemary. So legs wide and you can send the pelvis back. So send your pelvis back. That's it. That's it. So you've still got that sense of, stick the bottom out a bit more, Marion. Bottom. That's better. Straight legs. Yeah. Chest in to the wall and bottom out. That's it. Don't overstretch, but that looks better. That's nice, Sally. I don't know if you can get the bend out of your arms, Sally, but if you can, take them up. That's better. That's better. Fingertips on the wall, so you've got that support. Looking nice. And everybody, that's great, Brigitte. Exactly right. And walking away from your wall and either still at your wall or coming a bit further away, legs wide, toes in, and folding forwards into the forward bend with enough bend in your knees that your fingertips can go to the floor. So you're using the floor, the fingertips, to sort of pull the floor towards you through your fingertips. So you've got very open armpits. That's it. So your legs are taking all of the weight, but you're engaging the floor through fingers. I want you to use your fingers. So you've got straight arms, open armpits. That's it. That's it. Deep breaths in and deep breaths out. So you've still got that sense of the tadpole lower body. Another deep breath in there. And then you can put your hands on the back of your pelvis, keep your legs straight if you like, or a little bend, and come up with a flat back. That's nice. Well done. So then just coming back to your room, to your space, you might still want a bit of wall just for balance, because I'd like you to keep thinking about the heaviness of your lower body and this division here, lightness of your upper body. And we're going to play around with coming into tree pose, but from a waving around leg. So grounding through one leg and moving backwards and forwards. through another leg. And my arms are waving around because that's helping me balance. So you do what works for you. We won't go straight for tree pose yet. Just finding your balance with this moving lifted leg. Putting this leg down so that you come back to balance in the center. And then grounding through that leg and working your other side. So lifting, moving backwards and forwards, circling. You need to have your eyes open. You need to be looking at some spot. In real life, we don't gaze at one spot. We tend to say gaze at one spot in yoga, but normally we would have our eyes in all sorts of places and still be able to balance. So when you finish on this side, just come back to Tadasana again. Just being aware of your breath, your balance, that weightedness of your lower body, lightness of your upper body. So a couple of moments in Tadasana, really just checking in with how you're feeling right here, right now. Being aware of deep breaths in, deep breaths out. So from mountain pose, just taking your weight onto one of your feet, one of your legs, come up on the ball of the other foot. So you're gazing at a spot and lifting the leg as high as you can before just letting the foot find the side of the standing leg. So bringing yourself to tree pose. Arms are fairly immaterial, but you can have them out to the sides. You can bring palms of your hands to your heart if that works for you. You can take both arms up above the head. The most important part is this groundedness, still feeling that division at your waist. So the lightness above you and the groundedness going down. And deep breaths. You need to have full deep breaths in and full deep breaths out. Otherwise the balance goes. And don't hold it for too long. Just come back to being grounded on both legs. And pause just to really notice this sense of being grounded and balanced, right side, left side. Coming back into your breath, into sensation. And then you can feel the ground more through the leg you're going to stand on this time. Come up on the ball of the other foot. And gradually bringing yourself in towards that tree pose. So lift the leg as high as you can, and then let the foot find the side of the leg. And deep breaths in and deep breaths out. Deep breaths. And then return to being grounded, gradually coming back to being grounded on this side, on the other side. So we're back in mountain pose. That's it. So really sense right side, left side of the body, left side of the body, soft shoulders. So less is more, you're holding less, but getting rid of tension. If you want to close your eyes, you can. Otherwise, have a very soft gaze. aware of drawing the breath in and out through the nostrils, but the sound of your breath in that soft, spacious mouth at the back of your throat. Breath passes the vocal cords. If you bring the awareness, keep your eyes closed, but bring your awareness down to the soles of your feet. So they're quite lively. Be aware of the imprints of your feet, the heels, the outer edges, the inner edges, the base of each of your toes. Draw your awareness up through your legs to your knees. Notice what your knees are doing. Are they locked? Can you soften them? Bring your awareness up through your thighs. What's going on in your thighs? To your buttocks. Can you relax your buttocks a little? Don't grip. As you relax your buttocks, can you sense the pelvic floor? Pelvic floor is soft, not gripped. From your buttocks, take your awareness slowly up towards your waist, feeling that soft center. And then take your awareness up through the center of your body, through the rib cage, all the way to the base of your throat, the back of your neck, the back of your head, crown of your head. And the arms, you just have them hanging. There's no tension. Arms are just hanging, relaxing. Bring your awareness to the very base of your spine at the front, to the front of your tailbone. In your mind's eye, just feel it, imagine it if you can't feel it. It's just dropping in the direction of your heels. So with your awareness at the front of your tailbone, feel the roundedness as it forms your sacrum, that bony back of your pelvis. And then it comes up through top of your pelvis, through your waist, behind your belly, your navel. The spine is behind your heart, behind your lungs, behind your throat, until you reach a point level with the top of your nostrils, top of your spine, and that sense of balance of the head, the heaviness of your head. You need to do some little nodding movements, just little nods forwards and back. Maybe only you would be able to know you were nodding. Just gently noticing the balance of your head, the top of your spine. Maybe you want to move your head a little bit sideways, side to side, until you find that center where you feel completely balanced. Head above, top of the spine. Bring your awareness to the rib cage and notice how your ribs expand widthways as you breathe in. There's a little subtle movement of your arms outwards as you breathe in, and a little subtle movement of your arms sinking back as you breathe out. So you have the widthways expansion as you breathe in. And maybe you can be aware of your lower body, your belly. As you breathe in, your belly expands. As you breathe out, your belly draws in a little. Can you take your awareness down to your pelvic floor, the very base of your pelvis? As you breathe in, there's a very subtle outward release. As you breathe out, there's a very subtle inward lift. Keep your awareness at the pelvic floor. don't do anything with your pelvic floor. Just notice how the breath works at the pelvic floor. As you breathe out, there is a subtle lift. See, the pelvic floor just draws inwards and upwards on your out breath, and it relaxes and flattens on your in breath. So your pelvic floor is actually a diaphragm. It does exactly the same as the diaphragm in your chest. So we're going to start to roll down the spine. You can keep your eyes closed still if you like, or open your eyes, gaze at your toes. Allow your arms and your head to hang. Softness still in your knees. And as you let your upper body roll down, you can feel the strength in your legs and the lift of your pelvic floor on the out breaths as you lower and lower. Once you're draped over your legs, just hold it. Notice how it feels. Still focusing on relaxed breaths. Bring yourself down into kneeling and then lying for Shavasana. So making yourself as comfortable as you can for Shavasana, trying to hold on to the sense of relaxation in your body. So letting go, finding that space in your armpits. You could let your legs be a little wider than usual, toes falling out. Let your arms be away from the sides of your body, palms turned up. So you're rolling the upper arms so that you've got more expansiveness in your armpits. Be aware of how you've placed your head. So no strain in the neck. Sensing softness in your neck. And be aware of that spaciousness in your jaw. So the lips are lightly touching, but your teeth are apart. Tongue is resting. So usually the tongue can rest most comfortably in the lower jaw. Sometimes it's more comfortable just to let the tip of the tongue rest behind your top teeth, but not stuck to the roof of the mouth. And come to the nostrils. Have a sense of the air coming in through both nostrils and meeting at the eyebrow center. They become one at the eyebrow center. And then travels down the back of the throat into the lungs, expanding your lungs, expanding your ribs. As you breathe out, this strand of breath travels back up to the eyebrow center, and then it divides into as it leaves the nostrils. So each time you breathe in, twin strands entering through the nostrils, becoming one at the eyebrow center, traveling down back of your throat, the nasal passages, the back of your throat, and into the lungs. The expansiveness of your chest, the return of the breath towards the eyebrow center, and then becoming twin strands as it leaves the nostrils. Stay with the imagery of your breath. You could imagine your breath as a color, a golden thread, a golden light, a colored mist. And just sense it entering your body through the twin strands of your nostrils, becoming one at the eyebrow center, traveling down the nasal passages, the throat, into the lungs, and returning. The next time that you breathe in, let your awareness travel all the way down to the soles of your feet. And just allow your breath now to move from soles of feet all the way up to the eyebrow center and out through the twin strands of your nostrils. And then back in, right up to the eyebrow center and down through the whole body to the soles of the feet. So that you're drawing in this color, this mist of breath, and it's suffusing your whole body breathing. And whether you've chosen a color or a light for your breath, begin to imagine every cell in your body filling with that color or light as you breathe in, and relaxing as you breathe out. Every cell in your body suffused with the energy of your breath, the healing power of your breath, the living power of your breath, reaching to the furthest, smallest corner of your being. And without disturbing yourself too much, bring one of your hands onto your chest. You can bring both if it's more comfortable. So resting a hand over your heart center. Continue to be aware of this connection, heart, body, breath. Notice if there's any insight or wisdom arising from your body, from your heart. Listening. Releasing your hands back. And for another few moments, just considering what you might do with any insight or wisdom that came to you. And now beginning to take the awareness outwards. Take some deeper breaths. Begin to wriggle fingers and toes. Just let your head loll from side to side. And you can yawn and stretch if that feels like a good idea. So reaching and stretching and yawning. Eventually, everybody have the knees over the chest and hug your knees. Embrace your body. Really appreciating your body for being with you right here, right now. Rocking a little, so you can rock from side to side. Until eventually you can rest on one of your sides, curling up on your side. So when you bring yourself up, keep your eyes closed, let your head come up last. Bring the palms of your hands together and rub them to build up some heat and energy. So really get some heat and energy going in the palms of your hands before placing them over your closed eyelids. So just starting to open the eyes into the darkness of your hands, stare into the darkness. Gradually allow the light back in as you bring your hands away from your eyes. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Mary. That